Now, staying with the inclement weather issues, I'm joined now by spokesperson for the MEC for Transport and Human Settlements in KwaZulu-Natal, that's Ndabezinhle Sibiya. Mr. Sibiya, good to have you on the program. Firstly, tell us, KZN has seen repeated incidents of flooding, storms and even snowfall in recent months. How prepared is the provincial government to respond to these challenges or increasingly erratic weather events?
Well, no, thank you very much. Yeah, you would recall that, a couple of months ago, we experienced the cut-off low pressure system. When we have a low pressure that gets separated from the westerly, blowing wind. We are working with, institutions of higher learning to ensure that we are ready for any eventuality. And you'll recall that when we experience, snow in some parts of KwaZulu-Natal, especially in the Midlands, we, activated, our road traffic inspectorate. That's number one, to clear the snow, before it could accumulate to more than 30 centimeters in depth. We had graders that were waiting, to move in. We were able to do exactly that in Kokstad. If you look at, other low-lying areas, we have worked with, our, roving teams, involving the National Department of Human Settlements, the Provincial Department of, Human Settlements, as well as the municipalities, to ensure that we are able to assist, the affected communities. So we are ready for any eventuality, and but more especially, if you look at, what we've experienced in the past, couple of months, we have been able to ensure that the two departments, that is the Department of Transport, the Road Traffic Inspectorate teams, are always on standby, to clear the roads for any, traffic congestion. And then if you look at the human settlements, we've got, what you then call a roving team involving the National Department of Human Settlements. And we purchased the Montclair Lodge, for instance, a groundbreaking, developments, to ensure that at least when we are experiencing some of the flooding, we are able to accommodate the victims. So we are ready for any eventuality.
Mr. Sibiya, after the June cold front and earlier floods in parts of KwaZulu-Natal, many residents there said warnings were either delayed or not widely communicated to them. What is your office doing to improve early warning systems, especially in rural or informal areas?
Well, it is very important that we intensify the awareness campaigns, when it comes to issues of climate change. We have one plan for climate change here in KwaZulu-Natal. We call that, we hosted COP17 a couple of years ago, and we, were actually the facilitators of those groundbreaking decisions that were adopted during the COP17. So we are working with traditional leaders. We're working with, community leaders in various, parts of KwaZulu-Natal. But it is true that, at times, when there are warnings, people do not listen to the warnings. That is why we have agreed that, look, let us have, for instance, the transport forums in various parts of KwaZulu-Natal. We've employed more than, more than 400 transport forums who are working at a community level, the ward-based type of, mobilization of communities. But it's not enough. We are also, bringing on board, some of the community radio stations, so that when we move towards, the summer, season, we are able to alert communities if there are, such warnings. For instance, the SA Weather Services has a direct line to the MEC Duma. When we received the warning sometime, today, we were able to activate, our, a roving team from human settlements, so that those areas that are, predicted to be affected by the thunderstorm, the heavy rainfall, at least the communities there are ready for any eventuality.
We've seen several fatalities and infrastructure damage linked to inclement weather. How does the government then balance emergency response with long-term resilience planning, especially in vulnerable municipalities in KZN?
Well, an integrated approach is what will actually usher in a new era. We've got a national, government that is working very closely with us. If you look at the district development model, with the national ministers coming into the province now and again, working with the MECs, working with the mayors, at least we are now, tapping into the experience that we've acquired over the past couple of years. We were hit by, the floods in 2022. and we experienced severe weather pattern sometime in early January, as well as just after the Easter holiday. So we are tapping into the past experience as we move forward. So we can confidently say that look, with an integrated approach involving the national government, the provincial government, as well as the municipalities, we do have plans in place deal with severe weather patterns. But obviously, it is true that a cut-off low pressure system, it brings with it severe, different types of, weather patterns. For instance, we experienced for the very first time, a snowfall, and the cut-off low pressure system at times it triggers, the rise in water table. We experienced that in H section. For the first time in Nongoma, there was a rise in water table. There are some houses that were affected. If you look at, in a P section in Umlazi, the cut-off low pressure system resulted in that, mudslides. So these are some of the severe weather patterns that we have grappled with as the province of KwaZulu-Natal. But the past experience that we have acquired in terms of, dealing with these severe weather patterns, I think we are prepared for any eventuality.
With that said, what is your assessment of how municipalities across KZN have handled disaster readiness? Are there particular districts that need urgent support or intervention from the provincial level?
Well, I think that is obviously the responsibility of COCTA. I may not really style myself as a know-all, as somebody who can really speak fluently on how municipalities are managing disasters. But I think for our part as the Department of Transport, as well as Department of Human Settlements, we can safely say that if you look at the road traffic inspectorate, we are, ready to deal with any, traffic congestion. If you look at, the upgrade in N3, working with the National Department of Transport, we've been able to, extend the lanes there. The road is very beautiful. And we are talking here about September, the tourism month. We have said the Department of Transport must be a catalyst for the growth of all sectors of the economy. Tourism is our main sector, which we believe needs to be supported as the Department of Transport moving in very swiftly in terms of upgrades of roads in various parts of KwaZulu-Natal, even in deep rural areas. If you look at the Department of Human Settlements, at Konopia, we'll be building, about 1,200, houses for the victims of floods. The President of the Republic of South Africa, His Excellency Cyril Ramaphosa, will be invited as, to come and be part of the opening and the handing over of some of the houses, towards the end of the year. That is the promise that the Minister Thembi Simelane, together with the MEC, the Mayor of eThekwini, Caba, and the Premier made, during that visit to Konopia. So we are obviously, relying very heavily on that integrated approach involving all spheres of government. So what we are saying is that,
Mr. Sibiya, unfortunately, for the sake of time, we have to wrap it up here. My apologies for that. Thank you so much to Mr. Ndabezinhle Sibiya joining us and addressing some of the urgent concerns around KZN's response to extreme and unpredictable weather. As we've heard, the road to resilience is not only about reacting to disaster, but preparing for it, communicating clearly and supporting those left most vulnerable. He's been giving us their perspective there.